What is going on, everybody? I am Matt T. Vogt, and this is Let Me Talk to You, a show where I find local entrepreneurs and I dissect their business. Today, I have Bernard James Miller, also known as Trey. He owns Planet Overstock. He's got 3 locations currently, working on his 4th. Trey, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, first of all, I'm the 3rd. So Bernard James Miller, the 3rd.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I am the owner of Planet Overstock. Got into it a couple years ago and been pretty much grinding ever since.
How's it going?
Pretty much my whole life, you know. Don't get much off days.
No?
No. I guess that's what they say when you become the owner of a company, right? And especially a small business. You don't get very much free time.
Well, you know, you would think that, but then like the conversation we were having earlier off camera was that everyone just seems to have the idea that we have the ultimate freedom as soon as we adopt the title of business owner. And I think that they have something confused with what an intrapreneur is versus an entrepreneur, which I'll label myself as an entrepreneur, but until I'm hands off completely, we're all going to be entrepreneurs, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, people have this idea that we make our own hours. There's no such thing. You know, I'm finding myself, you know, some nights I'm working till 9, 10 at night and, you know, I'm up at 5 a.m. It's just like, it's constantly battling, not having enough help and always like doing things that you just have 100 job titles, right? Like there's always something new to do. And, yeah. It's nonstop, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, uno momento. There is a guest, I guess you could say, that I need to bring in for you for a second. We heard we heard you liked animals. And Murph's shitting a brick right now.
So not only do I love animals, I also love. Is this a French bulldog? This is a French. I love French. I've been trying to get my wife Emily to let me get one, and yeah.
Please state your case. State your case to Emily.
Emily, look. I just got to show. her. I mean, look at that. That it's beautiful. She disagrees, so that's the problem. But I'll eventually get her one day.
That is way nice. That is way nicer than the cat you have.
Dude, right. You cannot tell me a cat's cuter than that. I mean, come on. Look at that. That's God's perfect creation right there.
He's like, I just spent all that time quieting those dogs down.
That's why I became an entrepreneur right there.
Amen.
To get me a French bulldog. Because they're expensive little shits.
Are they?
Like, I don't know, 2,000 maybe?
Ooh.
I don't know, the one I want.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I know they're pretty damn expensive. But dude, so you say your hours are just uncontrolled. What do you think you need to do to kind of fix that?
Hire more maybe, but it always feels like even if you teach somebody what you're doing, it's never the same. You know, like no matter how hard you try to, you know, you can hire somebody, but what I teach them and what they actually do are something different than what I would do. Right?
I agree.
So it's tough to, I guess, care less maybe, you know, because like I or maybe worry less. Maybe that's what I should say.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whenever, you know, like when I'm laying in bed, I almost feel guilty taking days off. It's hard, man, because, you know, you want to scale your business, and I get that. And the way to do that's obviously to hire more help. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not in a position yet where I can hire a bunch of help and have them do it like I do it, you know, because I feel like I am different. And, you know, a lot of what I do is because I care so much.
Well, yeah.
And so, you know, you can hire somebody and you can pay them a good amount, but are they going to care as much as you? And the answer a lot of the time is no. But eventually you just got to face that fear and train them right. And hopefully, you know, they do care as much as you.
Well, that's the biggest, I feel like that is the biggest catch-22, even for me, it's it's that exact thing where it's like, okay, well, can I count on this person like I count on myself?
Right.
Right. But at some point, you can't even count on yourself because you got yourself so thrown every which way.
Yeah.
That the overall
Cut yourself too thin.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So you're really hurting yourself in the long run, right? But to go back to your point again, it's like you have to find that. I don't want to say the perfect moment because nothing will ever be perfect, but you have to find the best timing you possibly can to make that transition, because nobody's ever going to care like we care, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever, because no one's going to benefit like us, and no one's put as much into it as us. So I understand that, but it's definitely wild, man. I mean, that's why I do everything the way I do it. And I think your operation's rolling though.
Yeah.
Like 3 stores, about to open 4th. What's that like? Well, you started Lime in what?
So Lime wasn't even my
ago?
first store. Yeah, a little over 2 years ago, June.
What do you mean Lime wasn't your first store?
Well, so we started in the grocery business. My grandfather actually.
Right.
And so we had a big open picture, like a 10,000 square foot big like storage room, right? And
yeah, hold on. Let's backtrack. How'd you even get into this at the very base of it?
Desperation.
Because I honestly didn't even know that Lime wasn't your first store. So like, tell us.
Yeah, desperation was how we got into it. Because in the grocery, being a small grocery store, it's really hard to make money, man. You know,
right.
When you're selling peas, making 10 cents a product.
So not everyone is like Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Not everyone's like Schnucks and Deerbergs, where they're buying it for next to nothing and selling it for $3-4.
Uh-huh.
It's desperation, where we were working our tails off and not getting anywhere. You feel like you're just spinning the wheel,
right,
like a hamster. And so we were taught about Overstock and like how people can actually buy stuff that like major retailers have excess of.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a big 10,000 square foot showroom inside of our warehouse or inside of our grocery store. And we're like, what if we just, with the little money we have, what if we just bought a load and see where it went? And so Fairmont City, Illinois, I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh yeah, I went over there. We picked up goods.
Yeah, it's a very low income area.
Horse tracks, right?
Yes.
Yep.
It's past the Cahokia Mountains. Okay. And so, in an area like that, opening a retail store, it's really, really hard. And so what we did is we filled it up with Halloween costumes. Actually, was our very first item.
That's wild.
We just had like a half a truckload of Halloween costumes, and that's when we figured out that it does work. And we weren't necessarily doing well in Fairmont, but it worked good enough to say, let's take this and make it its own business.
Right.
And so that's what we did, man. Maybe 2 years later, I found a location right there on Lime Ferry Road, and it needed a shitload of work.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I will never forget ripping tile up with my 2 bare hands with a chisel and a hammer, man. I'll never forget it, dude. It's like, whenever I say I made it, which will be never, by the way, but whenever I feel like I am starting to get successful, that's the moment I look back on and be like, dude, that was like total desperation and just hunger,
Oh my God. Yeah.
There's nothing harder than that, man, that I've dealt with.
Oh no. I mean, dude, everyone has their hard. And I mean, I remember that store vividly, and she was rough.
Yeah, man.
She was rough.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
I think I worked in there for maybe like 36 hours straight. Dude, I remember it was horrible. It was like my very first day I signed that lease, I went home and went to bed. All 3 of my windows were shattered.
I remember that.
The next day. Dude.
I remember that.
I don't remember if it was $3,000 or $4,000. And I didn't have any money. So like,
right.
Dude, $3 or $4 grand, like you got to be shitting me.
Where'd
I didn't have any cameras up or anything.
Where'd you get it? Loan?
Yeah, I had a loan. Yep.
See?
Yep. I was very fortunate that my grandfather backed me. He didn't give me a lot of money, but he gave me enough. Yeah, to at least get started. Because originally I was going to do investors, and I'm so thankful that he was.
He gave you trust.
He gave me trust.
What he gave you.
Yeah, I was super fortunate, man, because I wasn't necessarily a hard worker before that.
Yeah, you fucking lazy turd.
I know, man. I mean, seriously, like I was a fuck off.
Well, no,
for
dude.
a long
I mean,
time.
I wouldn't discount yourself that much. I mean, from what I know, you had other sources of income, right? You did Cards R Us,
Yeah.
and then you did you were streaming and getting
Yeah.
money off streaming, right?
Here's the thing, man. I've always been a hustler, but I haven't always been a hard worker. I think there's a difference.
There is a difference.
I think there's a big
There's
difference.
a hard difference.
Because I know people that hustle and I know people that scrape by, but to become a hard worker, you have to have a lot of discipline, man. And
Oh yeah.
and I just, opening that Lime store from day one, it was like so much fear that I had to be disciplined. I had no other option because if, I didn't want to let him down,
Well, yeah, exactly.
And so from there, man, we just kept scaling and
Took off.
Took off, yeah.
So where was the point they were like, okay, this works. Let's look into location number 2. What was that point look like? Board meeting style, if you will. Obviously, just
about 6 months later,
yeah.
We opened up that one, I think late November.
But did you guys have to hit a certain threshold? Did you
No, I'm not a stagnant person. So whenever, dude, I was already thinking about store number 2 whenever I was scraping that tile, dude.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
really, I knew it was going to work. I didn't know for sure, but in my heart I did, and because I knew how much work I was going to put into it. And I knew that I'm really good at marketing. And there wasn't really a point, but my first location was actually not the first location I looked at. It was actually Festus. That was our very first location we looked at. And so it was an easy decision that once we came to terms, like, hey, let's go ahead and open up the second one. It was pretty simple, man. It happened so quick, dude. Feels like it just started.
I feel like there's this illusion that you have to hit a certain threshold, or you have to be so productive here, productive there. And I mean, I feel like more often than not, I feel like it's more of a gut instinct reaction that people have. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to move on to the second phase here. Like, go. This is it, so, and you have to be undeniably fucking absurd to bet everything on yourself. I've said that from day one, the first episode of the fucking podcast. Like, for what we do, it's like, you can't have an ounce of thought in your head that we're going to fail doing this.
No.
Because if you do, you already gave yourself an out.
Yep.
At least that's how I feel. Yeah, no.
There isn't.
No, there isn't. I mean, dude, even if I don't do contracting the rest of my life, I already have to be building the second thing, the second venture to grow into, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's no fail.
Well, for me, I think some of it was I had nothing to lose.
Well, yeah.
Dude, 4 years ago, I was making $15 an hour working for my grandpa. I didn't have anything to lose. So for me, it was do it now or age and just be a nobody. And I always wanted to be a somebody, even when I was kind of lazy and not motivated, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Well, when I found this niche and I knew that I had nothing to lose, it was just it happened so quick, man.
Well, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Even still, man, I'm 2.5 years in and it feels like I literally just started. I love it, dude.
Isn't it a wild ride?
It's so wild, man. It's so wild. And I think a lot of it too is how many people now rely on the company. We have 30 employees now. And I mean, at least 10 or 12 of them are completely full-time and it's their only job. So dude, just waking up every day and knowing that it's like, dude, you have to do this. There is no, there isn't an option because you have all these people relying on you.
Fuck yeah. I mean, dude, it's wild to think that you are paying somebody's mortgage. You're paying someone's bills. If they don't eat, that's on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the darkest possible way. I mean, obviously they could have spending problems, but at the very base level, at least that's how I look at it with, employees and everything. I supply their livelihood, right?
Yeah.
So we have to do everything in our everything possible within our means to make them as successful as humanly possible, right?
And I think that's the thing with me, man, is like, it's not even necessarily me that I want to see succeed. It's the people around me. Like, dude, I have so much family working for me that like, you know, have done so much for me throughout my whole life.
Mhm.
You know, I'm 26, but 2 years ago, I didn't have this company. I had nothing. And so these people that dedicated everything to their family, and I'm just following suit, man. It's like, if I'm successful, they're successful, because what I get is what they get. And that's just how I look at it, man. It's a whole team effort, and it's not me and them. It's all of us.
It's us. It's we.
It's us. Yeah, it's we. Exactly.
I think that's the best way to look at it. I mean, that's how I am. I mean, that's why if I need to buy something and I know you have it, I buy from you. That's why I use him to produce my podcast. You know, if I know somebody has something or does something, I'm going to use somebody I know.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to support Nike, Jordan, Walmart, Target. For God's sakes, they fucking pay maybe a little bit extra and use someone that they know personally, right?
And what they don't get is it usually comes back around.
It does.
You know, like, you know, with you supporting me, dude, I know who I'm going to go with whenever I need any renovations.
Right.
If
exactly.
if it's my decision.
Well,
right?
yeah, no,
So,
of course.
And it always comes back around. You
Well,
know, even if it's not direct.
Well, yeah, exactly. Dude, because all you have to do is say, hey, this person is fucking great. Like Zach Cuddy.
Yeah. Networking.
Yeah, exactly. Quick, fast, easy. I was in this man's wedding, and one of his groomsmen, we got to talking at the wedding, and he's a real estate investor. Boom, here we go. So about a week after the wedding, probably, start working a job. Now we're about to move on to our second, and then we're lining up a third.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, it's
Networking.
crazy. Just like that, dude. Just
Work hard and be nice to people.
Work hard and be nice to people.
You're good at the first part, but
Yeah, I don't know.
second part, you can be a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I'm definitely an asshole. I think I put it in my Instagram bio. I'm a good person, not a nice person. So I guess that's kind of, I need
like
to put a
that.
piece of tape over that and write that on there.
Right, good.
You know, because the nice thing's overrated. Like we were just having a conversation. I said, hey, buddy, you better get back to the gym. But that's just accountability. So I think that's being a good person, right? You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people struggle, especially being the owner of a company or a manager, is being too friendly to their employees. You know, like, I think there's a fine line.
It bites them in the ass.
Yeah.
Because then your employee will take advantage of you.
Yep.
Because they know they can.
Yeah. I think you have to be a good leader. I think that's the key to everything in success, is just being a good leader. You don't always you can be nice to them and
Oh, yeah.
you can tell them they're doing a good job, but also work with them and show them how to improve, because there's always room for improvement.
Dude, the biggest and most important thing I think a lot of businesses lack is culture.
Yeah.
You need to fucking develop a good culture
Mm-hmm.
within there. Hold everybody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And then be nice to them later. Like at S2 or First Form, Andy would fucking rip our shit when we weren't following the fucking playbook. But when we were doing good, he would let us know. Rightfully so. But he's not any different on himself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He holds everyone to the same standard he holds himself to.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be across the board.
He's been a big influence, obviously, to everybody in the country, really. But especially to me, just in terms of, like you said, follow, like, whatever I do is what I expect out of you. Right. So when I'm here
1,000%.
early, I need you to get here early. When I leave late, sometimes I need you to leave late.
Mhm.
And in caring like I care, because what I care about in the business is mainly for you, not me. Right. So, and I try to tell my employees that is like, if you work hard and you care about the business, you will grow.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I think a lot of them are buying into it, especially now being 2 years in, because they're starting to see the growth, right? So, you know, where they started is not where they are anymore.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you asked about their goals and what they want to do with their life?
Not enough. No.
I think you should. I think you should sit down with each one. Again, I'm no guru, but, you know, I've talked to so many business owners that actually my buddy Jeff White, he built a great culture within his business too. And, you know, he sits down with all of his employees. You have to understand the employee like a football coach, right? You know, one player's not going to react to this, but this one will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to sit down and understand the employee at face value and understand where they want to grow. Maybe this guy wants to buy a wedding ring in X amount of time. All right. Well, we have this position and this position. And, you know, maybe I can squeeze in some overtime for you here and there, you know, and see how they step up. You know what I mean? The more you find out about your employees, the more they find out about you, because you guys can open up and talk to each other. That goes back to, you know, being nice and good to each other without them taking advantage of you, right?
Yeah.
Because we would never take advantage of each other, right? However, we know each other like friends.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like employees need to be in a certain light and to some extent.
Yeah, we're a team. I mean,
well, that's exactly it.
Whether we might not be friends outside of work, but when it's a battle, man, every day.
Like, that's exactly it, dude.
It's, you know, I like that idea. I like that. I think I'm going to try that just because, you know, they are seeing that they're going to grow.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. It just helps them see where they fall in line with their growth. They'll be like, oh shit. Well, if he's opening, you know, this next store, then maybe he knows I want to buy a house or do this or do that. Maybe, you know, we can talk about, okay, I can learn now that you know that Amy wants to buy a house and because she's going to start a family and this, that, and the other. Okay, well, Amy, you've been busting your ass, you know. Here's what I expect out of my managers. You know, obviously I'm not saying you're going to get the position, but, you know, what would you think about something like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think
because now you got a fire reason.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the growth and opportunity. They're like, oh, she's like, oh man, he's talking about this position. And if I could get that position, then it really affects my future. And I could see the house with the shutters and the white picket fence with the kids playing on the playground in the backyard, right? They're now envisioning everything because your store and because the conversation you had, because you guys can relate on that depth now.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think a lot of people in small business, especially employees in general, lack they don't see a future long term in the business, like especially your lower tier employees, where if you give them their own vision of what they look for their future, maybe that'll spark a fire in them a little bit more. Because, you know, especially like being the owner, you know what you want out of it, and you know you'll do anything to get there, and maybe that'll help them get there too.
Exactly.
Get to that point.
Without a doubt,
I like that. That's good stuff.
Dude, it's definitely something to give a try. So store number 3.
Yeah.
Is that you just followed the same philosophy as number 2?
Yeah. So that one was actually over by my old apartment that I just bought my first house recently, a couple months ago.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. That one was over by my old apartment in Collinsville, Illinois. Right. And right next to a Schnucks. You know how busy Schnucks are. And that, you know, that
Crazy.
Plaza is just busy every day, man. And I was like, God, this is a beautiful location. Doesn't need a lot of renovation. And so same kind of deal, man. How long ago was that one? I didn't even think about that. Let's see. We opened the second one in November. A year later, we opened up number 3. And same logic.
Bud.
Same logic. Yeah. I'm hoping to get hopefully another one open after Eureka late this year. I hope.
So you're going to cover the
or early next year. I'm sorry.
Metropolitan area.
Yeah, that's the goal, and then hopefully expand into other states.
You going to franchise other states, or are you going to take it yourself?
I don't know yet. It's a good question.
Good answer.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Good answer.
You know, I don't want to speak too far ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I want to focus on what we have now and building, like you said, building the culture. Because I think we're starting to get there, man. I think a lot of people are starting to buy in.
Oh yeah.
Now I have a manager at all 3 stores, so I don't have to be there 24/7. Which, like you said, scaling back a little bit on actually being there all the time and figuring out ways to grow.
Well, yeah, man. It's that conversation we had at where were we? Twisted Tavern.
Twisted Tavern.
What I told you, I learned, man. It's simple as you're gonna stunt your own growth if you're there 24/7.
Yeah.
You have to pull yourself away. You have to have somebody there that you trust that can do the work, so you can free yourself up for all the opportunities to advance. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, growth is unlimited. We just got to keep reminding ourselves and just keep following the blueprint we lay out. And if it fails, fuck it. Rewrite that motherfucker and then just keep progressing. And
I still struggle with that, like being there all the
every
time.
day.
Because it's constant worrying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I worry every single day. It's like I got fucking bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
5 minutes, I'm fucking happy. Next 5 minutes, I'm like, holy shit.
Right. Scored a big deal, scored something big, and then 5 minutes later, something breaks on you.
That's exactly it. Like I was going to close out Page Avenue today, and I was fucking wrapping it up, and that's a job I'm doing for Zach. And, he walked through. The wife was on FaceTime, and we're all walking through. Good to go. Everything's great. Fucking go to rip out. We finished one room first, and then staged everything in that room.
Yeah.
So that was I ripped out all the paper that was on the ground to cover the fucking floors. So the floors didn't scuff. And we walked through all the rooms. Everything was good. Go tear the paper off. There's paper in the closet. So as soon as I open the closet door, everything's unfinished in there. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I'm like, God bless. I sent that to Zach. He goes, what the fuck?
I wish your average person could see days like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the world of, because everybody thinks it's all glamorous and you make your own hours, you set your own salary, you do this, you do that. But people have to remember you're completely reliant on yourself.
Oh, yeah. And that's it. Everyone's like, oh, it's just a closet. But yeah, well, all my tools are already back here.
Yeah.
My truck bed's loaded with trash. I got to throw in the trash dumpster that's sitting behind my house because I haven't had time to take the trash dumpster to the dump and drop it back off at my friend's house. I'm like, haven't got paid for the dumpster yet. So, that's just a ticking time bomb sitting there costing me more money. So, yeah, everything's great. Everything's fucking golden in our lives, guys. It's just great.
That sucks, man.
Dude,
live and learn.
But dude, it's a daily basis. But in all reality, like they are saying, it is just a closet. Because, although all those things compound, like I just said, but at the end of the day, if I let that little fucking closet get to me, fuck.
You're not going to last much longer.
I got bigger fucking fish to fry. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dude, what's been your biggest headache in this industry so far?
Biggest headache? Ooh, man.
Is it pricing? Is it fucking quality loads? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I think it is quality loads. Especially sometimes you're struggling to get inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Like some months of the year, especially like January, February, like after Christmas.
Yeah.
You can buy anything and everything you want.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But I think that's also a big reason I bought the warehouse. Or we didn't buy a warehouse, we're leasing it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a big reason we got the warehouse is to store that inventory in January and February. Like where we can...
Smart.
Because we do most of our business November, December, as expected, right?
Well, yeah,
and
absolutely.
so being able to have that free cash and then buying a ton of inventory to store in our warehouse is going to help solve that problem.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Dude, it's been a hard 2 years, man, with getting good inventory. Because, some months are great. Other months, it's like, what the hell am I buying? Like, I've gotten in, truckloads where everything was salvage, broken, that I spent 10, 12 grand on. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's a fucking chunk. That's a bigger deal in the closet.
I've had them bigger than that too. I mean, that was just an example.
What's your biggest, if you don't mind?
Like full truckload?
Like
good
just
or bad?
The worst experience. What's your fucking...
Okay, yeah. So this is a cheaper truckload. It was an Ashley Furniture truckload.
Right.
This thing all showed up floor loaded and 90% of it was damaged. Like where it was still worth it to go through it all.
Right.
But dude, I was by myself. I didn't have any help. I was picking up couches. I was picking up bed frame. It was the worst experience ever. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy.
Fuck that.
Yeah, man. Dude, like your closet. That was my closet. It was like,
holy
this
shit.
sucks.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, man. That happens more often than I'd like to admit, where I've gotten in truckloads and I'm like, this was an awful idea.
Well, I feel like that's
It's liquidation.
It's kind of part of the It's the
part of the
business,
game.
right?
It's part of the game.
It's a gamble.
It's what I
I
signed
feel
up
like
for.
almost time.
It is. And sometimes the gamble pays off. Like, I mean, I've made a good amount of money on, I'd say 75% of the trucks, but
Mhm.
it's the 25% that can just bust your balls that you're like, man, why am I doing this?
So how do you handle quality control then?
Learn. Yeah. I mean, knowing who to buy from, knowing who not to buy from,
Right.
knowing what companies to buy from, who not to buy, I'm still learning. I mean, I know I'll do it 20 more times in the next probably year. And
without
and
a doubt.
it's just something that I expect, and I've gotten used to it where, you just learn.
Well, dude, I think I do shit that I know better to do every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's just, it happens.
Mhm.
And I mean, one day it'll click in our head. Hey, well, don't do that. Oh, well, oh man, I thought this new supplier seemed promising.
Yeah.
Well, I said that about the last 5 and I got fucked over, but probably shouldn't have done that, but
I always feel bad for the employees when that happens, because I'm like, man, I'm used to this, but I know you guys did not sign up for this. Unloading a whole, like a good example was a Best Buy load that I got in, all like case packed stuff, but it was a full truck of hands. Like we had to unhand stack it by hand. There was no pallet under this stuff. It was like 100-pound boxes, probably 2,000 of them in one truck. Or it was like, man, this is just not what they signed up for.
Well, dude, it's going along with that TV, that mini fridge. Might need a surround sound in here as well.
I got plenty, bro.
Oh,
Let me know what you need. Give me a whole wish list, like I'm Santa Claus. I will make your year, bro.
Wayfair,
yeah, whatever you need, man. I can find it. Even if I don't have it, I can find it.
You ain't kidding about that.
I know Santa personally.
See,
I swear, bro.
Guys,
people say he's not real.
So you guys got to talk to.
I'm the guy.
Murph, you need anything? King size?
Whatever you need, I got.
Hey, my man.
Matt, I just want to say it's awesome what you're doing here, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
It's good to get small businesses and owners and to tell their stories, because I think you can learn from everybody. And even if they're not what we are, an entrepreneur, you can learn from everybody. And so you doing this and opening a platform for people to listen to, it's a good thing, dude.
I appreciate that. It definitely means something to me a lot, because just like you said, I think, hopefully there's a few people that have been on the cusp of wanting to do what we do. And maybe whether it's our podcast or any other episode or whatever it may be, hopefully they find something that they can relate to, and hopefully they can take that and run with it. Yeah. Right. Just embetter themselves and just become the very best version that they can possibly think of, or that they may even have to create. You know what I mean? So it's definitely been, it's been fun so far. And I got a lot of fucking good people lined up, man. And it's
you do.
From all walks of life.
When you are a good person, you will find good people too.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I believe in that.
You're authentic, bro.
I appreciate that. That. It's is that why you chose me for your wedding?
Part of it, and your muscles. Although probably shouldn't have done, luckily you were in a tuxedo, or else I probably wouldn't have got married that night.
Oh fuck.
Emily even said something.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just so handsome. I know. I know.
No, man, you're killing it.
It's no, man. I mean, I'm trying to just get 5 stores like you. Well, you're about to be in your 4th, and then you're going to be in 5. But
it's going to be 50 before you know it, dude. I swear to God. Like,
is that the number?
There is no number. Just go till I die.
Now that's the best answer.
There is no number.
There is no fucking number. So when are you going to make Emily just quit her job and just be like, all right, well, you just got to start taking care of Planet Overstock shit?
The only way she can quit her day job is if she develops a side hustle.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's working on that, right?
Yeah. Well, trying to, yeah.
Well, see, that's cool. First step, man.
Shout out to her, dude, because I'm telling you right now, without her, I couldn't do any of this.
Same.
Dude, I was a nobody before I met her. So she does everything around the house. And I'm not saying that because she's a woman. I'm just saying, no, I mean, really though, like she does everything, dude. Like,
see, that's cool.
She's
cool.
amazing. Like, There's no way I could do what I do if it wasn't for her. So,
dude,
shout out Emily.
That's she is a phenomenal woman, and dude, she lights up a freaking room when she walks in, bro.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep.
You guys are a good pair.
Would you call us a power couple? You think?
I'd say so.
Think so?
I think you guys fit that mold.
Okay, cool.
You just need to
I always wanted to be labeled as that.
You need to catch up with her in the gym.
I know. I've been slacking, bro.
I know.
I'm going to get back. Dude,
what about, bro?
Catch me in a year, man.
Your manager's making you look bad.
I know.
Luke, keep going, bud.
Catch me in a year, bro.
Uh-huh.
I have arms like that.
Why a year?
Do you intentionally like put your arms up to flex a little bit?
No.
On camera? I don't blame. I would too.
No, I'm not even flexing. I'm just sitting here.
Damn, that's not flexing.
No, I'm just chilling.
That's flaccid.
Yeah, I'm flaccid like a penis.
That's crazy.
You know. But dude, speaking of, Emily and the women behind us, I feel like Taylor did the same thing for me, man. When I was grinding, doing all my work, she was fucking instrumental in doing everything that needed to be done. And then all the stuff that didn't need to be done, she was still fucking doing that shit too, man.
Dude, if you can find a girl that does what you do, she is the one, brother.
Yeah, it was so funny that she even liked doing contracting.
I can tell you right now, Emily would not step foot anywhere near my company. Not because she doesn't like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
She just would never do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's crazy seeing how Taylor kind of morphed off seeing what I did and went out and started her own thing. That's what I want to replicate,
dude, with
this podcast. Brother. I want more Taylor's like fucking popping out.
Yes.
Like, just going.
Because of what you were doing, dude. I mean, I'm not saying that's the sole reason.
Right. Of course.
Because she saw you doing your own thing. She's like, I'm going to find my niche.
Exactly.
Dude, she didn't only find her niche. She found something that's going to change her life.
It's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, man.
Dude, it's...
shout out to Taylor, dude. She's killing it.
You are not kidding. If you don't get that piece of cake, she's going to kill you.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it for sure. Well, only because Emily will yell at me if she hears that Taylor had a piece of cake and I forgot it. She'll get pissed.
Kidding about that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think as far as the podcast goes, I think the nice thing about this is, since I have access to Murph, I think what I really want to do too is for some of these guests I have lined up, I think we're going to take it to their space.
Yeah, I like it.
And get a little exclusive within their facility. So not only can the people know about that person, but they get to see everything behind the brand too.
That's unique.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
That would be fun.
So
be great content too. Just like videoing all through that.
Dude, it'd be killer.
It's good stuff.
And it sets the stage for a different, environment too, to keep everything fresh, if you will.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it brings new content.
Exactly. I think I was gonna say a few people, but I think I'll just keep that to myself.
No teasers.
Yep. No, can't do that.
Elon Musk, Donald Trump.
Oh,
those aren't okay.
I go to Mar-a-Lago right now. I don't care.
Swear to God. Dude.
Fucking send me. We'll fuck all three of us jet out there. God. Dude, so what is your biggest piece of advice to people right now, if you had one?
I would say don't give up. Like you're going to have days where you just want to be like, F all this. And also not only that, care about the people around you. Like I feel like I'm so centered towards my employees and my family because a lot of my employees are my family. And so like building a business that has my family involved, it's a different kind of, it's unique because not many people can say that their small business hires mostly family.
Right.
And so being able to, care about the people around me, inspires me to grow and grow and grow.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
For them, mainly.
I've always heard that hiring family is an issue. Why is it not for you? And why do you think people say it is?
Because I think emotions get in the way sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I can say that to be true. you love these people and you obviously want what's best for them, but you don't always see eye to eye. And when that happens, it tends to get emotional. I think it's different for me because they care. A lot of my family cares as much as I do. And
Right.
so they get that, what we do in business and outside of business is two totally separate things. And so they see my vision, they understand my vision. And so we all attack it the same way. And so I think that's why it works.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it too. Cause I mean, me and Taylor had a very clear understanding for the most part that, just because I say something to you on the job doesn't reflect on how we are outside of here, because I can be I can be kind of a dick, man. The whole standard thing and everything, but I really never had to say anything to her because she just fucking killed it. Although there towards the end, I was getting pretty spicy about her being on her phone, but I had to realize
she was selling cookies, bro. Give her a break.
That's it, man. That's it. But I had to catch myself because my natural instinct when I see somebody on the phone be like, what the fuck are you doing on your phone,
right,
bro?
No, I get it.
Come on, Mike. Too, man. You ain't got no hose you're texting, something stupid like that. But no, she was actually hustling her cookies. So, but I could definitely see, how that could go both ways. And to your point, like your family cared, Taylor definitely cared as much. So I could definitely see your point on that.
And I think they care so much because they care about the person that's doing it. Like they care about me. And that's and obviously in return, I care about them just the same. So it's just all being about on the same page, man. If you guys can all figure out, I like going to each store now and kind of talking to them and figuring out what's on their mind a little bit.
Right.
Because I think it helps to calm them, like where sometimes they'll feel alone that I haven't visited a store in like a week or two.
It's clarity.
It's clarity. Yeah. And so whenever they get that, I think it really helps. And I would actually encourage people to hire their family because I think that there's nobody you can trust more than your family.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And I also think people need to know that this younger generation is going to kick ass, dude. I feel like we get pooped on a lot. Like just, people saying we're not hard workers and people saying that, we're lazy. We're always on our phones. And I get that. We're on our phones a lot, but I think there's just as many hustlers now than there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
It may be more.
But to go back to what you said earlier, you can hustle. Doesn't mean you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So how do we take lazy generation in my terms, even though they hustle, how do you turn them into hard workers?
Put their backs against the wall.
But most of them cry.
Well, let them break then.
Yeah.
And then when they break, their backs are really against the wall. And then they figure it out usually.
Right.
Because you have to, man. The other option is, I don't know what the other option is because I didn't go that route. So
yeah, I mean, good.
Yeah.
You have to have a backbone, man. I mean,
yeah.
You think this new generation is actually going to be worth a shit?
I do.
Are you? Wait, what are you? You're not a millennial, are you?
97? I don't know. 26? I think I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
Wait, no, I think I'm a Gen Z. I think I'm a Gen Z. Am I a Gen Z? Google search that. 97. I'm a Gen Z, bro.
Fucking lazy piece of shit.
I know, dude. I'm such a bum. Yeah, man. But I think that I don't know, dude. I feel like there's definitely a lot of lazy Gen Zers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of brainwashed Gen Zers. But I also think that there's a ton who are just like me and a ton who are going to change the world.
Well, I feel like you got the best of both worlds. I feel like there is a disconnect between the old guard and the new guard, right?
Definitely.
So Gen Z knows how to do shit way quicker and easier than the old guard does. But the old guard knows how to do shit consistently and they know their way, and neither one wants to fucking give it in.
They'll never pass the torch.
No, right.
They will never pass that torch.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's like me. I'm not very tech savvy. I mean, I'm fairly good enough to do shit like this, but not to the level of producing like Murph, right?
Right.
I feel like that's more towards the newer generation, but Murph took it upon himself to learn that to where, I grew up with my dad fucking fixing cars. Like, if our cars break, we fix it ourselves.
Yeah.
My dad's like, you're never going to fucking pay a mechanic. You're going to learn these skills.
See, and that's skills that, man, dude, I am so bad at. Like, I'm really good at some things. I'm really bad at some things. And being like anything to do with fixing stuff, that ain't me. So,
that ain't your forte.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm very, I like to talk. I like to sell. I'm a good salesman. And that's what I've always prided myself on, was being a really good salesman.
Oh, yeah. See, I mean, dude, yeah, you're doing phenomenal at it, but you also have the ability to take compounding interest and just keep growing with it, right?
Slowly, yeah.
Obviously,
turtle steps.
That's why you have all the stores you have, and that's why you have the success you have up to this point, because
long way, brother.
Oh yeah, definitely a long way, but it goes to speak for all the implementations you've taken, you know, business to business, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, old guard, new guard, you know, I think there's just a disconnect somewhere, but, you know, if everyone meets in the middle, I don't think that would be that big of a deal, right?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, you're the perfect example of that.
Well, thank you, man. I think you're wrong, but I appreciate it.
All right, well, you suck then. I don't know what to say.
You can just tell me I suck. I would appreciate that more, you know, because at least keeps my head small, you know. You don't want to inflate my ego. But no, I know what you mean, man. I see what you're saying. It's a mix of, you know, I do know a thing or two about being techie, quote unquote, and advertising through social media and knowing how to do social media. Not to the level of Murph, obviously, but then on the other realm, I do know how to work hard and actually be gritty and get dirty and do the other, like you were saying, millennial and the older generation.
So who the hell did that come from? Like, whose bright idea was it to jump into entrepreneurship to begin with? Like, for your family?
My grandfather.
Your grandpa?
Yeah, he's my biggest role model for sure. Yeah, he was very hands-on, dude. Like, you want to talk about delegating time? He never delegated time. He was there every single day, and his employees, I've never been to a company where your employees respect you as much as his employees did.
That's crazy.
You know, in the realm of like what I've seen, and you know, he's the perfect entrepreneur.
That's crazy.
And I'm very blessed to have him in my life. So, did
he just start with the grocery store, or does it go further back than that, or what?
Yeah. So he started as a manager of a Kroger. Very young, went to night school, I believe, what he told me. He said he'd always fall asleep in class because he would working the whole day.
Right.
So he'd have to go to school, and he's just so tired. So, and then he had an opportunity to, I believe, buy a Kroger out in Fairmont. So that was his very first location. Bought in with a partner. His partner went bankrupt. He bought it out fully from his partner. Took a store that was losing a bunch of money and made a career out of it. And
that's crazy.
He did very, very well for himself.
Man, good for him.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
Yeah.
I feel like enough people don't have that kind of role model in their lives. And it sucks.
Yeah. I think the biggest advice there is just try to find somebody who's in the realm of entrepreneurship. Even if they're not the perfect entrepreneur, they can at least guide you and say, like, don't give up, and yeah, this happened, but battle through it. And just having somebody there for you, you know? It's been a big plus for me.
Well, dude, I think you yourself, I mean, I don't know what Bobby was doing, you know, prior, but I feel like he's starting out on his own, right?
Bobby?
Doing car wash and stuff like that?
Oh, trying to, yeah. Trying to. Yep. I tell him, dude, I was like, you got to take this more serious, bro. You need to be, because he cleans his car every week and he cleans other people's car every week. And I'm like, bro, you need to advertise this.
Yeah, he does.
Start charging people
I tried to
money.
share his shit. I
tell him, bro. I tell him.
Hey.
But he don't listen to me. What do I know?
It's like beating a dead horse, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
because I was going to use him. I just got to find time to get my car down to him.
He's super affordable, bro. Like, he's not somebody.
His prices are fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know he'll do a good job. So,
yeah, it's cool seeing that though, man. Like, people who within your realm of friendship or family, seeing them go out and, like, I don't know if he got any motivation from me necessarily.
You know he did.
But it's cool to see, even if he didn't, it's cool to see him go and do his own thing or try to.
Well, thanks for being modest, but you know he did. I mean, you are the sum of the people you hang out with.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, it's you, him, Taylor, me. I mean, I keep a very tight-knit group around me.
Yeah.
And that's for a specific reason, because everyone's growing around me. That means I'm growing.
Yeah.
If everyone else is dead weight around me, I'm going to falter, right?
Yep.
So.
No, man, it's huge who you surround yourself with, man. I learned that a long time ago. Before I met Emily, dude, I was a partier. I had a lot of friends who liked to party, especially going back to college days where, the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'll say it to this day, is when I dropped out of college and I hit rock bottom for maybe a year or two.
I feel like a lot of people share that same story.
Yeah, because, going to college is so sought after, and I get it, and it can be very productive, but at the same sense, I think what I learned most was actually whenever I hit rock bottom. It wasn't what I learned in college. It was at the bottom where I was like, I have to figure something out.
Dude, I feel like college is over fucking rated.
100%.
And they pull way too much money from way too many people. I feel like it just became a money grab. I mean, in my opinion, the only people that need to go to college are doctors and lawyers.
Yeah, not only is college a money grab, but it's also just like training people how to become regular individuals. And to a sense, I get it. But in the same time, I think entrepreneurs are what runs the world. It's what innovates the world. It's what makes the world a better place. And so, yeah, college is great if that's what you want to do. But I also encourage people to look at option B and don't feel peer pressured. If, like, I was not successful in college and it crushed me, dude, because I wanted to be the smart A+ student. I wanted to be that. And I wasn't.
I was going to be a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Ain't for me.
Yeah. I went to college for sports management. And I remember, I'll never forget when I was told what that makes. And I was like, dude,
what
that
the
ain't
fuck?
the life for me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Unless you're the top 1%. It's like, dude, 35,000 a year, I think it was. It was something stupid. It was like,
sick.
Yeah. How am I going to get my Porsche with that money?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean?
Without
how am I
doubt.
get my Lambo with that money? It's like Ferrari, whatever. But yeah, man, I don't want to discourage anyone from going to college, but I also think I also want to encourage people to look at option B, and figure out what you want to do, not necessarily what everybody pressures you into doing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You always have an option.
Yep.
And I think what people fail to realize is, I mean, again, college is an option, but literally everything we look at, this mic, for example, the company that actually makes this mic, the metal, everything, the wire braid, everything is made and somebody started that company. The camera, the signs, the hat, the thread, everything is entrepreneur built, right?
Yep.
Do you want to be the owner or do you want to be a cog in the machine? That's your options. Like and people think it's so funny. People think that spending 5 years working for yourself to become successful is a long time, but then they spend 40 years working for somebody else, no problem.
Yep.
That math don't math.
Because it's comfortable. That's why, man.
Exactly.
Too many people are comfortable.
And
you're not growing unless you're uncomfortable.
Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, it's been phenomenal. Thanks for letting me talk to you, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me, dude. It was a huge honor.
Without a doubt. I think we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah. Catch me in like a couple years when I have a little bit bigger arms, and then hopefully I'm a little bit more
6 months, babe.
on the road to success.
That's it. 6 months. I'll text you in the morning and see if you're in the gym.
All right, do it.
All right.
I'll be there.
I'll post about it.
Will you really?
Yeah.
No, I have to go.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm doing it.
All right, deal. 5 a.m. I'll be there.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys picked something up from this podcast. Trey gave us a lot of fucking good content. If you guys like it, give us a shout out, subscribe, share it, Check it out. It's going to be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and it's going to be on YouTube if you want to see Trey's beautiful face. Until next time, guys, adios.